The media says one thing, the MLS says another. Here's the truth about our real estate market. Hey, it's Rob Foglia, real estate broker, coach, and author of Real Estate Reset. And let's dive into a specific scenario and really see what the market's saying. And hey, is it a good time to sell? Well, let's find out. Now, before we do, just a quick reminder that if you want me to run these numbers for you, just let me know. If you're getting this in your email, just hit reply and let me know, and I'll be happy to look at these numbers with you. If you're seeing this online somewhere, just shoot me a DM, drop a comment. Happy to help however I can. Now, here we go. Let's dive in. So we're going to dive into the market based on this coming soon that I've got here. Hitting the market, starting showing next week. I'm sure they don't mind the free publicity here for 1504 Round Rock Drive. We're going to dive in and see what the market holds for 37128 and really dive in and talk about pricing. So a quick note as we start to dive into 37128 and the inventory levels. So every market's going to be a little bit different. Sometimes we have to look at a county, sometimes a city, sometimes a zip code, sometimes even just a specific part of a zip code, just depending on what you have and what you own. Now, I find for most pretty straightforward, newer subdivisions in Murfreesboro, we can work off the zip code just to get a finger on the pulse of what's happening. First things first, let's look at total inventory. Now we're comparing January of 26 to January of 25. Now we're seeing inventory down 6% from year to year, down 19 homes. Now here's one thing that I find interesting and why I think it might be a great time to sell. Right here, new listings. A huge difference between January of 26 to January of 25, down over 50% in terms of new homes hitting the market. That's a big change, a big drop. Now that means there's going to be less inventory on the market right now, less in February, less into March as well. And it might give sellers an opportunity to really pounce on any buyers that are out there, if that makes sense. It's going to make buyers really have to possibly compete for listings. Another number that I like to look at here is months of supply. Now, months of supply, without getting into real estate nerd territory like I can do, it's just basically a number that says how demand is in relation to supply. It's down 22%. Now, months of supply, just for reference sake, 6 is considered a balanced market. When we're below 6, it's considered a seller's market. Above 6 is a buyer's market. It went from, in January of 25, about 5 months of supply, a little shy of 5, to a little shy of 4 months here in January of 26, down over 1 full month, down 22%. That's a great sign, a great trend line for sellers. Now, we don't know what that's going to look like in February, March, April, etc. Right now, that's telling us that there are less homes available compared to the amount of buyers who are looking. Now, one more number that I want to just dive into, and that is average sales price to list price. Now, I think this is an important stat to take a look at because everybody thinks when we think back to what happened in the absolute height of the market, everything was selling with multiple offers and seemingly, a dozen offers within 24 hours, if not more, and within less time here in early 22. Some people think that's, right around 100% or 99% is abnormal. But you can see if we look at a long-term trend, even once rates went up in 22 and into 23, et cetera, we're still between 99 and 100% for a good 2-year span, if not more. And even right here, we're in the high 98%. I mean, for January of 26, we're at 98.6%. That just means that when you see a home listed and it's priced correctly, on average, it's selling for 98.6% of the asking price. I like easy round numbers here. So when you see a $500,000 home, on average, that home is selling for about 6-7 grand less than the asking price. Again, that's an average. Sometimes we see homes sell right at asking price, sometimes above asking price still. Just depends on how well the home is priced. So put a little plug for the listing here. We price this home strategically based on size, based on the neighborhood, based on what else it's sold, so that we can see immediate interest and, knock on wood, maybe even see potential multiple offers at the beginning. I definitely don't want to jinx anything at all. However, like that type of pricing is what gets 98, 99, 100% of the asking price. Now, one quick thing that I want to point out, and I see this too often when it comes to either inexperienced agents or agents that are unwilling to look at the data and have real conversations with their clients, that when a home is overpriced, it just doesn't sell. That's why you don't see this number drop much. We're in a world today where data exists not just for real estate agents, but for consumers as well. So when somebody is looking at a home and they're trying to decide, hey, does this make sense to buy? Do I want to buy this? They know what that home roughly is worth. So when a home is not priced right, just say, for instance, our listing here on Round Rock, we're at $450,000. If we should have been at 450, but we priced it at 475, which you might not think is a huge drop, but the reality is that's about 5% of a price. Well, if we look back at this trend right here, the average consumer is buying a home in Murfreesboro over the last few years for 99% of the asking price, sometimes into the high 98s is the average. And so because of that, if we were at 475, but we should be at 450, well, it's going to sit because everybody's going to say, well, the home's not worth 475. I'm gonna move on to another property. It's gonna become the bridesmaid, not the bride, so to speak. It's gonna be the home that we get feedback on and we hear, it's a great home, but we just chose something else, or we like this about another property because it's not priced right. 450, we are 100% priced right based on the comps. And I expect to see that within the first couple of weeks on the market. Now, lastly, we're going to just look at interest rates here. Now, interest rates have hovered in this low sixes for a while now. This type of consistency in the market is a good thing. That type of clarity that buyers have, it's going to allow them to want to move swiftly on your property and hopefully get you right around these numbers that we were just talking about. So is it a good time to sell? I guess that's the question we've been trying to answer with this video. And honestly, I think it is. Now, granted, the market changes quickly, especially this time of year. I mean, gosh, it's springtime. People decide to put their home on the market. We could see inventory rise abruptly over the next 60 days. And if so, my answer might change. But for right now, as I record this on February 19th, 2026, I think it's a great time to be putting your home on the market. And again, if you'd like me to run these numbers for you, just reach out, hit reply to this email, leave a comment below. Happy to help you however I can. I'd love to help you capitalize on what's happening in the market today.